Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of The Well. And today we're going to talk about something that I think is the most important thing that I can speak about to you. And that is very simple. Be true, be you, or be you, be true. In either way, it is all about becoming your best self. And that is something we have been hearing a lot about over the last years. And it's actually as old as you can imagine, because basically it's about knowing yourself. You can't become your best self if you don't know who you are. Well, you can say, yeah, I know who I am, I know my name, where you're coming from, your family, all these kind of things. But who are you and what are your desires? And even about that, you can say, I don't have desires. I'm okay. I'm fine. Then still, I would like to ask you and challenge you with this episode to see, hey, becoming your best self, what are we actually talking about? And yeah, why is it interesting? I think the answer is simple and I'll share it right away. We are all different. We are all unique. Nobody is special, but everybody has its specialty. And I think it's beautiful. And the beautiful journey of life is to allow yourself to evolve into, yeah, becoming your unique self. For that, you require courage and confidence. So let's dive in today. Know thyself. I mean, it's the essence of self discovery. Know thyself. It's something that Socrates, ancient Greek philosopher, shared and declared and has basically since then been almost the beginning of Western society. And it is something that is um, repeated in various ways, in different ways. And it is so important to understand that your strengths, your values, and your passions are unique to you. And so very often we try to copy the strengths of somebody else or the body of somebody else or adhere to the values of somebody else, maybe parents, political people, I don't know, or purchase the passions of somebody else outside of us. But there is a foundation within you, rooted within you, that also longs to get out. So become curious about what is truly unique to you and consider this as something normal. You are the only one. That's actually amazing news. So, um, but with that, with knowing yourself also comes, um, yeah, understanding that sometimes you can be in your own way, whether that is because you stick to conditioning, you stick to conform, but also in ways that are all about um, seeing, for example, every obstacle as done to you. And for this, and to see this differently, you need to get and cultivate resilience. So there's resilience. It's a huge word. It's very important in personal growth. It's all about learning how to navigate challenges and to be flexible and to adapt to different situations, to adapt to different and mixed feelings within yourself and how to deal with it and not get confused by it. So it's a big topic, it's a big theme, and it's a big, um, yeah, shaping intelligence, I would almost say, emotionally and spiritually, that you can really grow into. And it will help you to basically transform every setback and every challenge as a stepping stone into the future. So, um, the next topic is about learning, because to know thyself, to know yourself, and to cultivate and develop more resilience throughout life, it is important to be curious. It's actually where it starts with, right? To be curious, to wanting to learn, and to also consider every experience you have as a lesson. So not everybody has a positive experience from school, but as I always say to my own children, you learn as much outside of school as inside school. And I think you all agree that that's for sure true. And every lesson, even though we think it's kind of an educational thing, but it is something from the educational system, but it is, of course, something that you have outside on the streets, when encountering people, doing stuff in your first job, in your major job, in your CEO role, doesn't matter where you are, there is an experience every day, tens of experiences, and they are basically all lessons. And whether you embrace these as something positive or as a challenge, I mean, if you can stay away from labeling everything as negative, your opportunity for growth will expand so rapidly. So, yeah. So when we have to know yourself, to build the resilience, to cultivate the resilience, and to embrace this whole path of learning that is life, right? Um, why do like as if you're somebody else? Why behave like how others are behaving? Why not just step into your um, biggest strength, even though it may not feel like that yet? I would say yet. um, it's just to be yourself, to be um, true to yourself. Well, that's basically where this whole theme is about today. But yeah, there's a word for this. It's called authenticity. It's so used lately that you almost feel like the whole thing around authenticity becomes fake and created and designed as if it's a kind of a skill set. And personally, I would like to stay away from that. Authenticity is really just to get really honest with yourself, to dare to admit to yourself when you're feeling bad, when you're feeling unhappy, or when you're truly happy, or when you really are yeah, enthusiastic about something, to just be true and great and in your feelings, whether these feelings are less positive or less negative or whatever, it doesn't matter. Just to be really what you feel. You don't need to pretend. I mean, doesn't mean that you need to show everything on the outside world. No, that's also something else. But at least always admit to yourself how you feel. So to not step over yourself and your feelings, but just to admit, like, hey, yeah, I'm feeling this, and what can I do about this situation or anything that is not like you or how somebody else would do it can be adopted as a skill, yes, something that you can learn and then integrate with who you truly are and then do it your way. But doing it just for the sake of somebody else doing it and thinking that's best, try to really make it your own. Give yourself the permission and also the freedom to adopt something and to do it in your own way, trusting that what you think is right and aligned with your heart and aligned with what you think is best for the world will be good. So I really, yeah, I would like to empower you to just navigate this whole life experience and every day of your life as yourself in your true purpose, because that will be most fulfilling. So yeah, and then there's this whole thing about life where people say like, oh, you need to achieve this and get to do this and have this goal and this house and that kind of partner and such a job would be great. Well, of course, there are certain standards that you could reach or work towards to. I mean, it's always good to have a vision. Without vision, one perishes. It's good to have an outlook, and whether you reach that outlook exactly or not. I mean, it's nice to think about milestones in that direction. I mean, it starts in school with certain diplomas that you can get, or if you're in a soccer team, I mean, you had training so that you can play a game. So yes, there are milestones going towards a goal or a signpost or a certain achievement you want to set out to achieve in your life. So, but don't get hold up or stuck on the goal setting, because very often, that's what I see also in my practice, very often people chase somebody else's goals because they have that car or that kind of house, or they did this holidays, and then also then want to do it because yeah, the children have been seeing this, that other friends are doing this, and we actually always do this, but now they want to do that. And so that becomes a goal, a personal goal. But then the question is again, is it really a personal goal, or is it something you want to do because others are doing it as well? And either way is great, is good, as long as you are aware of what's the reasoning or what's the motivation behind setting this as your goal. So goals somehow are like a roadmap to your best self. I mean, I've not always been a fan of goals. I really tend to go through life like yeah, very intuitively what's coming at me and where I feel like attracted to. And of course, within that there are certain goals, but to me, my vision is very clear. The vision is very clear, and how I get there, I don't particularly mind that much. But I do have certain milestones, yes, that I want to reach and achieve, and that help me making sure that I get to this vision, even though the milestones sometimes in the post sometimes can change and adapt. And I think it's great to keep this flexibility, because life always throws its balls at you anyway. So it's good to have the flexibility and the adaptability, and see, as I said in the third point, every challenge or setback also as a lesson that you can learn from. So yeah, goal setting and achieving personal goals is again, as I said, it's a whole journey and roadmap by itself. And I really encourage you also to explore strategies for goal setting on how you can do this. I will have a download here below in the for the video that you can download, and to just start with some practical strategies. It's all simple. I mean, we can really take this all way deeper, but I think it's important that you have these 5 points clear first for wanting to be or become or kind of come back to who you truly are. Is for you maybe a scary thing, or maybe you don't even realize that you are not truly who you are yet. But start to become curious about yourself, wanting to learn more about yourself, cultivate and develop a certain resilience, your strength, your adaptability. How do you respond in situations? Observe yourself a little bit from the outside, like, hey, how do I behave in certain conversations, or at work, at home, during sports, or on the sporting field? I mean, when you have a challenge coming at you, can you respond to this calmly, or are you immediately in a reactive modus, or do you get angry? I mean, no labeling at all here, but it's just nice to start observing yourself and see it as a game, like, hey, how do I respond? So, and once you do that, you kind of embrace this whole idea of that you're always learning each and every moment of the day. Yeah, and authenticity is really becoming aware of what your true desires are, what you like, and kind of embrace this as truly yours and unique to you. And sometimes it's the same as what others have, but very often also not at all. So your personal goals, and kind of express them to yourself and maybe write them out, is really a fun thing to do, because this is your life. And what I want for you is that at the end of your life, you don't have the regret that most of the people who are dying have, and that is, I wish I had been more true to myself. You're now listening to this. You know what to do. The first step is a decision, and that is to say, I want to get to know myself better. You can do it. Think about it. Observe yourself this week. Look to all these different things that I mentioned. Re-listen to this again. And yeah, it's a dynamic adventure, I would say. It's just really fun. Self-discovery, resilience, learning, authenticity. goal achievement. Man, there's a lot to do. Enjoy. Yeah, and I see you next week in the well. Have a great week.